Today we have an interview with my amazing friend Fouzia. She's a musician, also singers, also mothers. She's so talented, and we're gonna discover about her career, her life, and how she discovered the Andalus music.
Thank you.
Stay tuned.
My name is Fouzia Benedetti. I was born in Switzerland. My father is from the USA, from New Jersey. My mother is Swiss. My father is a jazz musician. He's a pianist. And a lot of jazz musicians came to Europe in the late 60s, early 70s. And they stayed. They ended up staying, and that's where my father met my mother. And he also converted to Islam. So he found Islam and he met my mother, and he became established in Bern, where he was teacher at the conservatory. And then we moved to England to be with a group of Muslims, a community of Muslims. So since I was small, I've always been in touch with music, and although I never started to play an instrument until I was 15, but I've always loved music. And I've always loved Arab music in the sense that not that I heard a lot of music, but the scales, sort of the sound of it always attracted me. And when I came to live in Spain, I was 19, when I got married. My husband gave me a flute, a silver flute for my dowry. And it's a handmade silver flute, so it's a very valuable thing to have, and it's special to me. And also I came into contact with Andalusian music, and when I first heard just those little tapes from Morocco that were circulating at that time, when I first heard it, it just completely blew my mind. There's something special about Andalusian music. It's not quite like Oriental Arab music, and it's something that is very uplifting. It sort of enters your heart and it lifts the spirit from the heart. That's what I thought when I first heard it. And the improvisation of the singing, I just just blew me away.
Can you explain us what is Andalus music for the people who don't know, who never hear about this music? Just like
Andalusian music is a music that grew in Spain. During the Cordoban period, the Caliphate of Cordoba, there was a famous musician he was nicknamed Ziryab because he was dark of skin and he sang very well, which means blackbird. He came from Iraq because he had to leave Iraq because he was better than his teacher. So his teacher didn't like that and told him, you leave and so he came to Al-Andalus, and he established himself in Cordoba, and he founded a conservatory, probably the first conservatory. And he also brought a lot of the customs of the Abbasid Caliphate, which was like, the way of the three-course meals, drinking out of glass, a lot of customs, hairs, fashion, refinement, as well as music. So they say he added the fifth string to the lute, and he did a lot of innovations. But also after that, there was also Ibn Baya from Zaragoza and different people, and somehow Andalusian music grew out of a fusion of the Christian culture and the local folklore and the Arab culture. So it's like a kind of music that has Arabic and Islamic in a sense, but it's not Oriental. because it has elements, but it's like European at the same time, which is what I find is so amazing because the scales are more like Western. Flamenco here has a lot of influences from this music as well. You can see in the rhythms, in the way they sing. When they say ole, it comes from Allah. The way they sing is similar to when Andalusi is singing, and so it kind of also grew from that.
We want to know more the name of the band and your role on the band.
So the name of the band is Hamid Ajbar Ensemble. My role in the band is I'm one of the managers. I am looking especially outside of Spain for concerts and festivals and trying to get us to Europe and further. I'm a bit of the organizer for the events that we do. We have just brought out 2 CDs. One is with the Sufi ensemble called Jinan al-Andalus. The other is Aire Andalusi Flamenco with the flamenco fusion. We have a very good quality band. The music is really good. The shows that when we are live, they're very dynamic, and I think it's just something that people would be interested to hear.
Tell us about your experience as the only woman in the band, and did you find that it's challenging to be the only woman, and is it being a Muslim woman has affected your opportunity as a musician?
Being the only woman in the band, it's okay because everybody knows their place, and so I find it's okay. Hopefully someday we will grow and maybe there will be more women in the band. It would be a good idea as well, to like have a nice orchestra of Andalusian music. That would be wonderful. Being a woman, a Muslim woman and a musician, I haven't really found any difficulties because I still consider myself learning, and and it's a privilege for me to be with these people and learn from them. Since I'm not originally, I wasn't a professional musician. I started off just a little bit, and I think I'm growing. So for me, it is a privilege. It's difficult for all women, whether they are Muslim or not. I think, just like it is in acting or in any profession, there's always more difficulties for women than for men. But I wouldn't say it's to do with being a Muslim woman. We don't live in one of these countries that have more strict traditions, so I think we're lucky in that sense.
Amazing. So Fauzia, what advice would you like to give to other inspiring female musicians who would like to go into this path of learn about Andalusian music? Or
If they possibly can, spend some time in Morocco, in Chaouen or in Tetuan or Rabat if they can, where they have conservatories and they can take classes. There's people who teach, and also it would be wonderful if we could have a school here, and I think that would be a project to take into consideration. To like have a kind of school of Andalusian music here in Grenada. This is one of the places where it originated. There is a style called Garnati, which is played especially in Algeria but also in Morocco, and it's directly from here.
what the challenge did you they are finding to create the school here? Is it like more financial challenge or more from the ayuntamiento here, or like? Yes.
I think we just have to. It's at the moment you could say it's an idea and we need to develop it. And I think we would need help from the probably from the ayuntamiento, from the patronato de la Alhambra, but we need to make a project first.
From the town hall, yes.
Yes, and also because it would be great. The patronato de la Alhambra, the people who run the Alhambra and all those places in the Albaicin and in Grenada that are part of the Islamic heritage, It would be interesting, but we would need to present a solid project for that, and that takes time and dedication and work. But inshallah, you never know, maybe it will happen
Inshallah.
sometime. It would be great to have this back here.
Media, they don't portray Muslim women in good way.
Yeah.
So my idea is to show, okay, here there is amazing musician, there is an amazing artist, you know, we are here.
That's great.
Yeah.